Hey everyone, I'm Kayla, and I decided that I want to do pregnancy updates. I want to keep track of my pregnancy this time. I regret not doing it with my son. I really wish I had videos and blog posts to compare this pregnancy to, but unfortunately I don't. But with this one, I am going to. So today I am 11 weeks and 5 days pregnant. They say that baby is just over 1.5 inches long and is about the size of a fig. Um, my official due date that my gynecologist is going off of is March 25th, but whenever I had my ultrasound, the baby measured at March 22nd. So a few days ahead, and I'm going off of the March 22nd because I feel like that's a more accurate um, date. I had the same kind of situation with my pregnancy with my son Colton, who is 2, and the on the ultrasound he measured at June 29th, but he actually the due to my last period, which is what they go off of, my due date was July 3rd, and he came on the 25th. So I'm pretty sure going off of baby size and measurements is a pretty accurate way to get your due date. And so I'm going off of March 22nd, and based on that, I am 11 weeks and 5 days today. Um, the baby is doing good as far as we know. We had our first ultrasound at 9 weeks and 5 days, and this is a little picture of it. The little baby has their hands up and their feet up, like the arms are above their head and their feet are like up. The baby was just moving the whole time, which was so great to see. The baby had a really fast heart rate at 186 beats per minute. I definitely know that Colton's heart rate was not that fast. I want to say his was around 140, but I don't remember for sure. I wish I had that, but I don't. Um, and as far as this week and how it has gone, it has actually been a very hard week for me. I have been sick all week. Pretty much since the day I turned 11 weeks, I have been sick. And I went in on Friday for my first appointment with my gynecologist. I switched to a new gynecologist than who I was going to before because I didn't feel like I could fully trust her. I have my 2-year-old son that I was with her for my entire pregnancy, but actually my new gynecologist, ended up delivering him for me, and I was really happy with him. And then after I had my son Colton, unfortunately, my husband and I have experienced 2 miscarriages, and I just felt like the care wasn't there. I felt like some things could have been avoided, but because she didn't care enough that I kind of had a worse experience than I even needed to have because that it's a terrible thing to go through as it is, but especially when you feel like somebody's not listening to you and you have like these warning signs and they're just not picking up on them, um, it just makes everything harder. So I switched gynecologists and I'm really happy that I did. Both my husband and I really like him, and yeah, I just completely lost my train of thought. But we both really like him, and we have gone to see the practitioner. That was my first appointment to get my blood drawn and all that stuff. And then we went to our ultrasound, and then Friday was my first appointment with him, and that went really well. At my first appointment with him, we talked about C-section versus natural birth because with my son Colton, I had to have a C-section just because my birth canal was too small to fit him through. And he was an 8-pound baby, so he was a good size, but he really wasn't huge. So the doctor told me that he will revisit the whole topic when I'm 37 weeks pregnant and estimate the size of the baby, and then we'll talk about it again and see if he really thinks it's a good option for me to try for a natural birth or if it's just the safer way to go for a C-section. And I really appreciate his answer to that because my previous gynecologist had told me with my other pregnancies that I would definitely have to have a C-section. She wouldn't even consider doing anything but a C-section on me. Even if the baby measured smaller, she wasn't going to do it. And so I appreciate that he's been honest and that he, is not promising me a natural birth, but he's not just automatically saying, okay, let's set a date for a C-section. He's going to do it the right way, and I'm really happy with that. So hopefully I won't need a C-section, but there's a pretty good chance that I will, unless I have quite a smaller baby. So we'll see how that goes. What else we talked about at the appointment? We listened to the heartbeat again, which was really awesome. I love hearing baby's heartbeat. It was the first time we were able to hear it on the Doppler, though I was interfering pretty big with the baby's heartbeat. You could hear me and then you could hear the baby in the background. But he said he could definitely pick up the heartbeat and that it was a strong heartbeat. He couldn't get like a real accurate read on what exactly the heart rate was because I was interfering with it so much, but he estimated around 160. So that's still a good, strong heartbeat. And then at that appointment, I had one symptom where I thought I may have like a yeast infection or something. And so I mentioned it to him, and he said I might have some kind of bacteria infection. I don't remember what he called it, but he prescribed me a cream. And so I started taking this cream, and everything went downhill from there. So I guess the cream worked its way into my bloodstream, and I immediately, the next morning after I took the first dose of the cream, I woke up really nauseous, and then the next morning even more nauseous. I was throwing up. I haven't been able to eat very well. Thankfully, just the past couple of days, I've been able to eat a lot better than I was, but for about 4 or 5 days, my eating was terrible because I was just so nauseous, and I was in bed all day. And then on Tuesday, I woke up with, you can probably kind of hear it in my voice, I woke up with white stuff all over my tongue and the back of my throat. And so basically the cream worked into my bloodstream and it gave me an infection in my throat, which I guess, from what my gynecologist was saying, because then I had to go in for an appointment on Tuesday, to be checked out and have different tests ran and stuff to see exactly what was going on, which I'm still waiting on results for, so I can't tell you exactly what has happened, but we're pretty sure that I got thrush from the antibiotic cream. And I guess anytime you take an antibiotic, there's a chance that you can get thrush. And that's really interesting. I had no idea that that could happen because I had never experienced anything like that before. My son had thrush once when he was little, and that's the only way I even knew what thrush was. But so we think that's what I'm dealing with, but now I'm starting to feel like the side of my throat's swelling and it's getting kind of more sore. So I'm really hoping it's just thrush and I can get rid of it and I don't have anything else on top of it. But I do have swabs that are at the lab from my throat to see if anything else comes up, and I need to take any other medicine. So I'm currently just waiting on that to see how all of that comes back. I have this swish and swallow stuff that I'm taking, which I actually need to take it. I keep forgetting, but I have to take it 4 times a day, and it tastes really gross. So that's no fun. This week has just been full of sickness and tiredness, and it's not been my best week, but I'm just glad to have a healthy baby growing inside of me. So, a few other things to mention would be that I really haven't had any cravings this week. And I mean, I make that due to my sickness. I've been so sick, I haven't had time to crave anything. I've just not been feeling good. So food has definitely not been a friend of mine this week. It really hasn't been a friend of mine this entire pregnancy. I really haven't gotten to really enjoy food this pregnancy, and I'm looking forward to reaching that point because I am a foodie and I miss it. I miss being able to enjoy food, and feel well. So I'm hoping once I leap into that second trimester that all this stuff will go away and I'll be feeling much better. Food aversions have been pretty common though. Just I can never really tell exactly what I'm going to have an aversion to. Sometimes I can based on smell, but sometimes I'll think that something sounds really good and then I try to eat it and it just tastes absolutely disgusting to me. I have, however, even though I haven't been having cravings this week, I have been craving sweet things nonstop. That's pretty much, I've had maybe one or two cravings that weren't sweet, and that's it. Um, Pretty much everything I crave is sweet. All I want is sweet things. And oddly enough, through being sick and everything, sweet things seem to be one of the things that my stomach tolerates better than other things, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't think that would be the case. Um, and then the last thing to mention for this week is that I have been losing weight over my first trimester. I don't think it's too much of a concern because the doctor hasn't mentioned it to me, and it's not like I'm super tiny or anything and I'm just melting away over here or anything like that, but just due to all the sickness, and I've been having pretty bad pregnancy nausea before I got all these other sicknesses on top of my normal nausea. And I haven't eaten well like this whole pregnancy. I've been good at taking my prenatals and all that, but as far as eating goes, it just hasn't been that great for me. So I've actually lost about 7 pounds since I got pregnant. So um, hopefully we can start going up from here slowly. I don't want to gain a lot of weight, but I know I want to give the baby the proper nutrients that he or she needs. So that's pretty much it for this week. I don't really think I have anything else to talk on. It's just that I've been sick, unfortunately, but hopefully next week will be better. So I guess I'll show you my bump. I have a little bit of a bump. It kind of comes and goes, though. I feel like it's more of bloat than anything, but it's kind of hard to see with this dress. But I have a little bit of a bump forming. So yeah, I'm also going to be doing updates on my pregnancy on my blog. I have a set questions that I answer each week. So I'll link those, my post so far below, if you would like to read those. And I will see you all for week 12 update. Bye.